I was a patient of Dr. Feldman at your hospital on April 24th, 25th. I had an angioplasty and stent placement. I want to commend the staff beginning with the admitting department. The pre-operative nurses were so considerate, the cardiac cath lab staff so excellent and reassuring, and the nurses who cared for me post-operatively were so kind and caring and knowledgeable. I happen to be a retired RN, so I recognize excellence when I see it.
This is a very late letter of appreciation for the excellent care I received from Rosario Boots Fua during my stay in your hospital last year. Boots was patient, kind, and gentle with me, and superbly efficient. Then last week, as I was visiting a friend in your hospital, I chanced upon her nurse who was very patiently trying to locate a vein in the patient's arm for the IV needle. Somehow, she reminded me of Boots because of the extreme care she took not to hurt the patient. To my surprise and delight, I discovered that it was indeed Boots. Hence, I promised myself I would write this letter.
Everything changed at my first appointment. Dr. Chucky answered every question I asked, explained the terminology that I did not understand, and provided me something that I thought I would never have again, confidence in my doctor. It did not take long for me to appreciate that everything at your institution is a cut above the rest of the medical community.
I was working with Joe Padilla, who is an emergency room technician at the emergency room at Alta Bates campus. I nominated Joe for the Extra Mile Club because of a particular day in which he went way beyond what anybody would be expected to do in his situation. He noticed a patient, a young woman who walked into the triage area and was in distress. On the surface, she may have seemed just upset or hysterical even, and Joe noticed immediately that she was indeed in trouble and hypoxic. Also realizing that he didn't have a lot of time to tell anybody about this, he brought her right immediately back into the treatment area, which we generally don't do, right past the triage nurse and into our resuscitation room. Within seconds of getting into the resuscitation room, she collapsed and was intubated and put on a respirator. I believe Joe saved her life that day.
The purpose of this letter is to take the opportunity to let you know how appreciative I am of the entire staff of the oncology department under the direction of Dr. Valerie Ewell. The entire team has always been very friendly, caring, compassionate, upbeat, and positive, and above all, professional. Their demeanor made it much easier for me to endure the stress of having to go through the treatments.
I was seen in the ER on Friday night, February 28th, with a very painful acute appendicitis, and ended up in the OR for my appendectomy on Saturday morning. It is important to tell you that I am a nurse in labor and delivery and had just attended a class regarding customer service. I found the class to be extremely important, and little did I know that I would be an inpatient so soon, able to observe customer service firsthand from the patient's point of view. Within 1 hour, my labs were back. Dr. Kaplov was very thoughtful in his assessment and put me at ease. Dr. Stanton was kind and reassuring, and I felt very well taken care of. My experience in the ER was very positive, and although I don't remember names because I was still in a lot of pain, I want to thank all the nurses who cared for me and convinced me to take the IV morphine. The care that I received was really top-notch on 2 North. I noticed that people were happy to be caregivers, work hard and well as a team, and are willing to go the extra mile. I want to thank Marissa, Tony, Jen, Lynette.
When we first arrived and found I was only 1 centimeter dilated, my husband and I really wanted to go back home. But Mary, even though she had to make an unpopular call, asked that we stay, as she really didn't like what she saw on the fetal monitor, even though there was no real distress. She was absolutely right to trust her instincts. As I ended up having an emergency cesarean section a few hours later when his heart rate dropped really low. In the operating room, each member of the team was trying to prepare me, but Mary came in just to hold my hand, comfort me, and reassure me so I wasn't scared. She really came through for me in a frightening situation.
We were so confused and frightened when we arrived at our first diabetes educational class at the center.
How will diabetes change my life? Will I have to give up all the foods I love? Will I need an amputation, insulin, and other questions?
From the first to the last meeting, we were put so at ease, learned how to face this disease, realized that it can be controlled relatively easily if we pay attention, and that there are lots of people who have had diabetes for years and are doing just fine.
Types of food, menus, recipes, when to call the doctor, testing and equipment were all explained. At all times we were encouraged to call should we need assistance.
Each of your nurses are so professional, relaxed, knowledgeable, caring, patient, friendly, passionate about their subject, and have a great sense of humor.
Alta Bates is offering a wonderful service to the entire East Bay community by presenting these classes. Thank you.
Most sincerely, Diane
and Stan
Lichtenstein.
It is so reassuring to know that excellent medical care still exists. Thank you.
It is a long-delayed commendation for a nurse who is an honor to your hospital and to her profession.
They have turned a stressful period in my life into a positive and rewarding experience which I will not soon forget. Yours sincerely, Robert Daniels.
The hospital appreciates your efforts, I appreciate your efforts, and the patient appreciates your efforts.
I extend my sincere appreciation to the entire team and hope that you will recognize the contribution that each and every one of them is making. They are all excellent ambassadors who represent Summit Medical Center very well. Sincerely, Marvin Jenkins.
I want you to know that I'm very proud to be a part of the group of nurses here at the Summit campus of Alta Bates Summit Medical Center.
She really came through for me in a frightening situation. Thank you, Mary.